I'd like to say, first and foremost, with the signs that you see on the screen right now, that these are signs that appeared on a billboard. I'm not personally making a political statement here. I'm simply reporting on what MrBeast has decided to do. Although we don't have confirmation that MrBeast was involved in any way, shape, or form, it is unusual considering that it said that the sign was paid for by MrBeast LLC. But wake up, babe. The funniest shit ever is happening. I don't know if you saw, but in Illinois, people are claiming this billboard is real. Multiple people have taken pictures of it. The billboard had a massive sign that said, "Fuck Israel," with a Palestinian flag behind it, and it said, "Paid for by MrBeast LLC." And then that went further until eventually there was a giant one that had MrBeast's face on it that also said, "Paid for by MrBeast LLC." These weren't photoshopped. This is a real photo someone took. Apparently, the billboard was displaying the sign. This was not AI. It's not photoshopped. Now, before people are like, whoa, MrBeast has joined the resistance? Or maybe MrBeast is doing a very unorthodox advertising for Lunchables. Feastables. Oh, I got the two mixed up. So many silly names that aren't real for garbage that poisons children. Feastables. Yeah, if you don't know, MrBeast kind of has gone radio silent for a really long time, in part due to all the controversies from all of the accusations of pedophilia, worker abuse, and torture that has been done as part of his massive media empire. And this was coming at a time when he's also trying to advertise a new product that he's going to be selling to children called Feastables, that he's basically teamed up with, I think, KSI and Logan Paul to promote. And he's really trying to sell you on the idea that Feastables is actually healthier for you than Lunchables. And the reason that Feastables is better is if you look at the stats, there's less processed sugars and fats, and he really did a good job of not putting as much sodium into those products, of which they are just riddled with. It's not healthy, by the way. Lunchables, if you are parents and you want to feed your kids something, I know it looks like an easy and fun snack to just, and we all had them growing up, I understand. Like as a kid, sometimes I would be the sad one at the lunchtime who had the sandwich and the apple, and then you look over and all the cool kids had Lunchables, which would be miniature versions of delicious foods. Hey, I get to make my own little pizzas. You'd be like, oh, that looks so good. Oh, I got my own little nachos here too. This is pretty cool, right? And be like, yeah, that is really cool. And it even comes with candy too. It comes with a Kit Kat bar or something else. So that idea, basically, they copied it and they've made their own version, but instead of Lunchables, it's called Feastables. And then a lot of people pointed out that these are also extremely unhealthy for children. And then he said, no, I use less sodium. And then multiple people pointed out that, well, you're just using different words for sodium actually on the labeling, like all these things here. This is technically sodium, even if you call it something else. If you call it like electrolytes, or and say that it's what plants crave or whatever that is, you're still selling people lots of processed food with, again, very high levels of sodium, corn syrup, and sugar. It's still dramatically unhealthy for kids, even if you're saying, well, these ones are slightly better for you. I think Asmongold's review said that they're actually pretty much the same. It comes down to what juice box you get with it. That he said was the game changer between the two foodstuffs at the end of the day. So yeah, I didn't know whether or not this was, again, because he's flailing pretty badly and publicly, if this was part of some kind of very dramatic ad campaign to try and get attention, get headlines, that kind of stuff. It turns out that it's not that at all. It was a hack. This is a successful hacking, actually, of a billboard by an organization that is trying to, I guess, bring attention to Israel's genocide of Palestinians by putting these signs up on a massive billboard on a freeway. And now there has been a call for an investigation into who did it. They're saying that these signs are distinctly anti-Semitic. And because they are anti-Semitic, they're going to, I believe, be looking into this as a potential hate crime that was done. Anti-Semitic messages is the headline on Fox 32 Chicago. Hacked billboards display anti-Semitic messages in the Chicago suburbs. Multiple electronic billboards in Chicago suburbs were hacked, displaying hateful messages described as anti-Semitic on Wednesday. Several electronic billboards in Northbrook were hacked to display anti-Semitic messages. Anti-Semitic is put into quotation marks here. Are you not standing behind your own reporting? Now, it's not anti-Canadian to say fuck Canada. You can say fuck Canada. You can go ahead and say it in the chats. I give you permission. You can go say fuck Canada. Again, Canada is a sovereign nation. They are not going to to go on the attack if you say fuck Canada and Canada's policies, in the same way that a lot of people say fuck America and, you know, fuck American policies and stuff of that nature. Because a lot of Christian nationalists in both the US and Canada have directly associated anything that Israel does with the entirety of all Jewish people, then the act of criticizing Israel itself and anything that Israel does is then assumed to be anti-Semitic as well, because an attack on Israel is an attack on every single Jewish person, even though on the other end of that, we're often told that it's not simply exclusively like an ethno-state. It's not a country in which only Jewish people are allowed to become citizens. But still, even though that remains to be the fact, any criticism of Israel is instantly deemed as a criticism of all Jewish people. Again, I find that act itself to be anti-Semitic, but this event that I guess occurred with hackers doing this was something that I didn't know was something people were capable of. I guess it makes sense that these networks that are displaying ads, again, are connected to something that is penetrable, and in this case someone was capable of hacking them to put these MrBeast signs up there. Multiple electronic billboards in Chicago suburbs were hacked, displaying hateful messages about Israel that many described as anti-Semitic on Wednesday. The billboards are located on Eden Spur, Tollbrook on Northbrook, just west of Wakagan Road. One of these billboards read, "Fuck Israel." In both, the Palestinian flag was used as the background. Commuters leaving work and even students after school were met with the shocking images, which were first reported around 5:30. Congressman Brad Schneider told Fox his phone started ringing once the signage appeared. Where these signs are, it's a community with a large Jewish population, and tonight is the beginning of the Jewish holiday. Therefore, it has to be a shock to drivers. One of them was caught my attention. They said they had kids in the car. They're little kids. They were old enough to read. You know these big billboard signs, and how do you explain that to a young person? The two signs displaying the hateful messages illuminated the expressway for at least an hour on Wednesday evening. By 7 p.m., the digital signs were completely dark, having been shut off by Outfront Media. Northbrook police launched an investigation and quickly determined the messages were not authorized by Outfront Media, indicating they were the work of hackers. The village of Northbrook stated in part the sign was displaying a series of anti-Semitic messages, and upon investigating, it was determined that the billboard company had not displayed the messages. Company representatives were quickly and collaboratively to remove the unauthorized messages from their electronic signage. They went on to say the Northbrook Village Board unequivocally condemns anti-Semitism and all acts of hate speech. We stand together with the Jewish community, family members, friends, and neighbors. Northbrook is an inclusive community and welcomes all. Thank you for bringing this to our attention. We're aware of the incident. It has been removed and the situation is being investigated. The hacker also read that the entire thing was paid for by MrBeast LLC. A spokesperson for MrBeast, who's a popular YouTuber, shared the following statement. MrBeast did not pay for this billboard, and after being made aware of its existence, we contacted our attorneys and authorities about how to have it immediately removed. Northbrook police said no further information was immediately available, and the investigation is ongoing. Yeah, I know. That's the other thing, right? Is that, like, there's a lot of controversy that just took place in Canada because an organization that has now been deemed as a terrorist organization in this country had members who were saying death to Canada, and the message death to Canada was seen as an attack upon Canadian identity and etc. And a lot of people got very, very mad about that. And again, it's one of those things where the people who are oftentimes protesting their governments or protesting the governments that are directly funding genocide, they get a lot of the anger. You know, like way more people were mad about a group of people saying death to Canada than they were, again, about over 20,000 confirmed deaths of children who have died horrifically in this conflict since this began. The instant condemnation that came from politicians, too, like of all kinds, like we, without reserve, condemn these terrorists for saying such a horrifying slogan as death to Canada. How dare you ever say such a thing? Way more outrage, just a shock, outrage, and complete anger. But they'll never call, you know, Israel or the actions of Israel terrorist actions. They'll never call the IDF a terrorist organization. They'll never outright condemn, you know, the actions of the Israeli government as they again continue to genocide the Palestinian people. None of that is deemed as you know, bad. Again, when there's one nation that is killing more children through war and the use of U.S. weapons than any other, they're not considered to be bad. They're not considered to be terrorists. They're not considered to be evil. Again, it's the people who call them out that are oftentimes seen as evil when it comes to these topics. But that's the MrBeast event.
Hey, if you'd like to unlock secret bonus episodes as well as uncensored content, go to patreon.com/The Serfs. This show is produced by Anna Loves Riley, Arian McCarthy, Cheryl Alvarez, Comrade Junkie, Doug Caddy, Everything Important, Hagbard Celine, Jimmy Sombrero, Multimondi, Omni, Political Puppy, Preston Kroll, Quiet 185, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Cernicus, Stellar Gwyn, Sebastian Demel, Travis McClinton, Trincel, Words Greenwood, with additional support coming from all of these amazing human beings right here.